Boy, I don't even know where to begin to share about the things that have happened during the month of September with our launch at UW Green Bay and our efforts at Lawrence University to meet new students and to promote Chi Alpha on that campus as well. Let me just share a couple stories with you guys from the pictures that you could see. The first one I'll share about is during launch week at UW Green Bay, us and our student leaders got together to discuss what are some things we can do to engage these incoming freshmen. And so they came up with several ideas. And so the day that freshmen were moving in, we decided, hey, let's serve some hot dogs just outside the freshman dorms and see if we can meet people that way. So we set up that day ready to serve about 150 hot dogs, and there is nobody around. We're like, what is going on? And what we found out later on is that freshman orientation was going on all that day and all that night. It wasn't on their website or anything from the school, so we were not informed. That's why we call it year zero, is that we're just learning how things work on a campus. But we did make a few contacts in that night that were late to this campus and everything, and we made some solid relationships there. And some of those students have already been plugged into our group because of that effort. So we walked away from that event with our heads held high, believing God was going to use that. The next night was even more exciting. We had planned to just show up in front of the University Union to play yard games. And when Angie and I first got there, we saw across the field some sound techs with this professional sound equipment set up, and they're just playing loud music, and we're like, uh-oh, is something else going on that we didn't know about, and this is going to be another bust. But I walked across the field to talk to them to see what was going on. They informed me that the school had planned a yards game event there in this field, but nothing was going on. There was a ball that was dropped by somebody. So here are these sound guys saying, we're supposed to be here for this event, but the event's not happening. So I said, well, we brought yard games to play. And they said, well, set it up. So we had free music for this event. As I'm walking back over to Angie, I see a couple girls sitting at a park bench, and I approached them and said, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, we showed up here to play yard games because it was in this flyer we had from the school, but there's nothing going on. I said, well, we're getting ready to play yard games over here. Why don't you come join us? So they did. And by the end of that night, we had like 20 plus students that were playing yard games and volleyball and ultimate frisbee with us. And you can see that in one of the pictures up there that happened. And several of the students we met through that, we've built relationships with and have seen them plug in to our group. So it was amazing. Another thing that happened is Angie and I, the bottom picture, we have become officially recognized as nationally appointed missionaries. We were at the GO conference in Springfield. Well, while that conference was going on, my buddy Joshua Ernst, who's now the director of campus ministries for Chi Alpha over our district, had to run a table for us at what's called OrgSmorg at UW Green Bay, which is like the campus organization fair. Well, we did this thing called Wheel of Dorm Misfortune, where students could win 2-ply toilet paper, an air freshener, some gift cards, things like that. It was such a huge hit. The school loved it. They had to move us into another room because we were blocking doors. It was a fire hazard because so many people were lined up. They had to move us into the main room saying, hey, can you come into the main room so that students will stop by the other tables? We had 300 students fill out cards at our table from that event during the OrgSmorg. We also had the opportunity to do a table at Lawrence University where we were trying to meet new students that may be freshmen that were believers in Christ that could help us get a charter going on their campus as well. And we've made a couple connections there, so be praying for that. It's just been very hard at Lawrence, but we're believing God is going to open doors for us there. We started a men's core group on both campuses, and just seeing God start to do things in both those places. But boy, we've just been having a blast with just everything God is doing through both the OrgSmorg and through the events that we've done on the campus. And we can't wait to see what God does in this next coming month. So again, thank you so much, you guys, for blessing our ministry and being a part of it. We can't wait to see what God does in October.